Hi there guys, I thought I'd make a little video. As you can see, I'm pretty much in the middle of nowhere, so and if you saw this setup, there's a bird up there, you'd think it was hilarious as I've got the phone rested on a tree stump and I am sitting on a tree stump, so you can hear the birds. My little doggy is here. Come on, Oz. Oh, he's down here. So I just wanted to make a little video because I kind of just had a few changes of thoughts, which is, I guess, part of this process. You know, before I kind of thought that on the Chris Watts case that he acted alone, and I was really convinced about that. And I don't know, now I've kind of sort of changed my mind because there's just too many things, and I still don't agree with all the people that have gone through the autopsy, you know, saying pay me to go through the discovery and make money out of this. And last night I was watching a ridiculous video from a very well-known person who does Chris Watts videos, who is making money out of this and does merchandise and all that rubbish, who made a video about an insider that they have. Oh, squirrel. An insider that they apparently have from the Dodge County Jail. And then the entire video, and I think it was about 2 hours, was just about the person on the video trying to convince us, the viewers, to A, believe him that this was a legit person, and B, he isn't going to tell us until we believe him, that we don't deserve the information until we believe him. Now, it was the most excruciating video because how are we going to prove that we believe him, and why should we? It's his video, it's his channel, to give information. So it was a real clickbait and really irritating, and I don't agree with that at all. But there are a couple of videos out there that genuinely give good information and really care, and that's what I find more interesting. So I was going through the original body cam footage again, and by the way, I do these videos unedited, so when I mess up, I don't like to re-edit. I'd rather just stay talking. I was watching the body cam footage of when the first police people went to the house, and it's more fascinating than ever now, knowing what we know. That when Chris first comes up and Nicole Atkinson is there, the look he gives her is hilarious, but also he spends so much time fiddling around in that van before he even runs up to the garage. And then, this is where I kind of changed my mind a little bit about proceedings and about things. When he opens the garage and he goes straight for the car, and we all know this, but when you really look, he goes down to the bottom of the front seat, sort of, you know, where your feet would be, and he does pick something up, and he puts it in his pocket. Now that could be keys, it could be the ring, but when I'm thinking, if it's a ring, how did it end up down there? It's definitely something. You watch again, he picks something up and he puts it in his pocket, turns away from the camera. Ozzy's sitting down. And then when he goes inside, he doesn't do anything. He starts burying himself in his phone, and literally the officer has to say, do you want to go upstairs and search for her? I mean, she might be passed out somewhere, and he kind of goes, oh, yeah. He doesn't even bother to go upstairs to look. He just sort of stays in the kitchen and just acts weirdly. And I didn't notice that before, that it was actually the officer who had to suggest he go upstairs and look for his wife and children. And then when they go upstairs, obviously we've all seen this, we've all seen his body language, the fact that every idea they come up with as to where his wife and children are, he poo-poos. Would they be at the pool? Well, on a hot day like this? No, I don't think so. Would they be at a friend's? No friends around here. Family? Well, they're in North Carolina, so that ain't happening. You know, every single thing he sort of poo-poos. And then Nicole's son finds the phone. And that's fascinating as well. So when Chris first went into the house, did he run upstairs and then sort of go, ugh, and get rid of the phone? I mean, because on his interviews, Chris Watts goes, oh, I don't know why the phone was there. I don't know what I did. I just tried to mess it around, get rid of it. So did he sort of do a sweep of the house when he went in there? For, I don't know how many, you know, a minute or so he was in there on his own. But again, none of it makes sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. Because here is another really interesting thing, and I didn't think about this before either as a fly. He says in his second interview, I don't know whether I plan to kill the children, right? But the children are in the truck. They haven't got any shoes on. They've got their blankies with them. He hasn't packed their lunch. I don't think he's cancelled school yet. He's got them out of the garage, into the car, and apparently driven with them just sitting in the back with their feet dangling over their dead mother, which I don't believe, really. But then what was he intending to do? He wasn't intending to get rid of them. What was he going to do? Go to work and leave them in the car? They had no food, no water, no preparations, no nothing. Of course he was going to kill them. But it doesn't make any sense. Unless he was going to sort of go there, bury Shanann, and then drive off into the sunset. He either was completely sort of blacked out, which with a Jodi Arias fog, which magically appears and reappears and disappears, or he's completely lying, and of course he knew exactly what he was going to do. He didn't pack them any lunch for school the next day, which apparently he always did. You know, and he made too many preparations and too many different types of behaviour to not fulfill a certain action. So when he says, I don't know what I was doing, I don't believe a word of it. I don't believe a word of it. Now, in terms of all the activity, this is another thing, right? The Vivint system that they have in their houses. There was a lovely video that somebody did about how the Vivint picks up everything in the house. Audio and visual, right? And if it's not on their system, he could have disabled that momentarily or when he was there. It's on the home hub. It can be got hold of. So where is that footage from inside the house, where we can see what actually happened? So I feel like it's out there somewhere. And maybe the police have it, maybe that's why they took a sort of plea deal for just have him in prison and not have the death penalty. I don't know, I really don't know. But I do feel, and this is where I've had a sort of change of heart actually, I do feel that NK was involved, somehow. I don't know how, I don't know. I'm still not believing that a guy that lived a lie like that and did it so well could have made such a mess of then doing what he did. Surely he would have planned it meticulously, because there was slight planning. Did something go wrong? Or did he not plan it out and he just flipped? Everyone is saying that that the girls were now killed in the house, because actually there's no proof of the shadow under the car being one of the girls. So there's no actual proof. Just checking my dog. So this case is eluding me yet again. There's so many twists and turns, but I do know this. When you listen, and it's fascinating to listen to the whole of Chris Watts' second interview, he has no idea what he's talking about. You know, for a start, I know NK lied a lot in her interrogation. She knew he was married. She knew he had children. And then when they asked Chris Watts about it, he goes, oh, maybe she did know, but she just put it out of her mind. As you do. And every single answer that he gives, come here, Abby. Every single answer that he gives is so freaking vague. I don't feel we're getting any more details than we had before. And I'm wondering if this second interrogation just came out because there was so much hoo-ha about a shadow under the car, and the police got hold of it and had to go with it. And then Chris just sort of rearranged his story around that. because whatever he says, he's sort of fed. He's this sort of vessel for other people's sort of energy and information. And he's just going along with what they say. There's no more information. It doesn't make any sense. His second confession doesn't make any sense any more than the first. So anyway, these are my ideas. Tell me what you think, because you know, it's really interesting the fact that if he wasn't going to kill his children, what was he going to do with them that day? He went to work. So yeah, give me your ideas and your support. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.